Oh man. Hey, let's go.
Cause I was like,
We got to make up for some lost time here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Some recaps, man.
mm,
Murtazaliev TKO's Tim Tszyu.
Bakram.
mm.
Big Bakram. So
right.
let me say this. Let me say this because on the last episode we had Cyrus on, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a fight." I remember him saying that, and I'm like, when I'm watching the fight, I'm like, "This is not just a fight. This is an animal destroying a former world champion." And like you just said, LT, we have to keep an eye on these guys across the way, man.
I'm guilty here because I was like, oh, you know, I was like Fedora and Spence are gonna fight, and in the meantime, you know, Crawford can fight the IBF guy. Well, turns out this is the IBF guy.
The IBF guy. You better say his name. Big Bakram.
He is the IBF guy.
You know what's crazy is we even when Cyrus and we were having that whole discussion, we talked about Dagestani people. We're like, yo,
yeah,
given the benefit of the doubt, he's from where Bivol and you know, Better Beef and all them dudes is from. Like, if it's from that type of cloth, then it's not a walk in the park for the Australian Tim Tszyu.
Let's talk about somebody breaking somebody. Like, we got to backtrack a little bit because Tim Tszyu.
It was a dog walk.
Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight Keith Thurman at one point.
Yes.
Pandora is a last-minute replacement because of an injury.
Yes.
Which gives us, you know, potential fight of the year candidate, but leaves both of those guys in a bad state. And you know, here's Tim Tszyu coming back right off of that. No tune-up. Did he fight a tune-up? I don't think so.
Should have.
No tune-up. And
that Fedora fight was so phenomenal that we were like bloodthirsty, like, oh gosh, this is war. You know, I was high over that Fedora fight. Like, I was a good high. Like, I was like, I want to see more of this. This guy is Braveheart, you know. But man.
So speaking of people getting broken, did Fedora break Tim Tszyu? I mean, like, what in the
So
world?
early in the fight, there was a clash of heads, and
clash of heads, the blood and everything. Yeah.
No. So there was speculation, people thinking like, is he having like a PTSD moment because they clash heads? Tim Tszyu steps back and he pauses his glove and checks to see if he's bleeding. Like early in the fight. Yeah, and you saw from that moment domination. So it's possible that fight had a lasting effect on him. Go ahead.
What we know about fighting is that scar tissue, right? Once they're scarred, the same spot is easily opened up again. So
right.
It becomes a repeat issue.
Right.
I have to quote a famous YouTube soccer enthusiast. He says something called domination in the location. that was Bahram.
So this was third round TKO?
Yeah, it didn't last long, man. I woke my son up because I was hollering watching this fight.
All right, and so now that's a respectable opponent there. And now putting respect on Murtazaliev's name, he came out talking greasy. He wants Crawford. He wants Crawford. And if he can't get Crawford, he wants Charlo. So, hey, newfound respect for this guy.
Hey, man, we gotta, like, stylistically, the Soviet system presents problems for American fighters. It takes elite skill and talent to beat those guys because they're strong, they're smart, they have a unique style that you will not see mimicked in American gyms when you're getting ready for an opponent. The issue I have, Crawford fighting Majumov, similar. They have that come from that Soviet system. You're going to be presented with some of the similar things. I think Bakram wasn't as awkward as Majumov, but there are similar elements there. I would love to see the fight. I don't think Charlo will be. It's hard for me to see it, you know, being out the ring for so long. But Yeah, I say that's not a good fight to take. And I feel like Tim Tsz's team underestimated Bakram as well. His previous fight, he fought during Ramadan. So,
Wow.
Yeah, he won a belt during Ramadan. So you better, you better bite down when you fighting a guy like this. Move your head and stay sound, because these guys across the way are showing themselves repeatedly. And if we I know we have our list in our notes of boxing champions. You're starting to see some names that we kind of have to take a minute to pronounce. And
this is one of those moments where it's like, okay, everybody's coming up from 147, like it's sweet. And he's like, nah, I'm here. You're gonna have to see me. And I got a lot of respect for that right there.
Yeah.
I think Murtazaliev is I'm saying it wrong, all right. I think he's biting more than he can chew, calling out a Crawford. Because
he has to. He cash in on this moment.
He got a belt. He does. But still, man, there's some work to do. There's some work to do out there. There's more work that you could get outside Crawford, because I think Crawford's chase right now is a little different. Whenever I think about Crawford, I think about Kendrick Lamar. I think about beat your ass, hide the Bible if God's watching. Like you calling that man out. Everybody that has called Crawford out, whether it's somebody that we thought was going to beat Crawford, it's never been good. Well, the last fight Crawford had, well, it was more competitive. But every time I hear, I'm ready for this guy. I'm ready for this guy. But again, I understand he's IBF, right? He's the IBF.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So he's IBF.
The thing about it, it's a weight class that Crawford, as of right now, only has one fight.
One fight. Yeah.
All right. I'll go back to the point of winning a belt during Ramadan. Boxing is extremely hard. So think about the commitment to maintain your fast. Remember, we talked about Devin Haney a little earlier, who said that he would not be observing Ramadan during his camp. I don't know which camp that was, but it just shows the edge, that mental toughness that Bakram does have. So I think on that alone, he could stand on his own in the ring with Crawford. He has a belt. Crawford has a belt.
We don't think he didn't see the Madrimov fight? You don't think he saw the Madrimov fight and said
the same place where they all from? The same place, right?
Saying he's seen something that he thinks that he can capitalize on.
Right.
So he was like, you rubbing his hands, Birdman, like I want some of that now. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, we now know the name. We now know the name. Big
Bakram.
Big Bakram.